Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second match of the day, and that is Kcca versus Nemo Stars. Ladies match. Moses.
Yes, it's going to be interesting. Of course, we already see our viewers already predicting the game. One person is already giving Nemo the win 3-2. But of course, we have been here for the first game. UCU has come out strong and managed to secure 3 points for themselves against Elion. And this particular game we are about to witness is going to be very interesting. And of course, I'm here with Coach Malik. He understands ladies volleyball more than I do. So it will be interesting to get his insights. And of course, we shall be here together until the end of this game.
Yeah, it is quite an interesting match. We've seen Nemo Stars this season really, as they got promoted from Serie B, they've played their best out, and they've been having some spectacular play in a number of fixtures. And Nemo Stars there now appears in the orange and blue jersey, as Kcca appears in the navy blue and the green tops. And I think this won't be an easy game for the Kcca side. because we've seen Nemo Stars being one team that really gives hard time to the teams that have been up there, and it will be actually a very entertaining match to watch.
Yeah, very interesting. And of course, Nemo starts us off with the service, and already swings are going on the side of KCCA, and that young girl there, she's Iki Ring, of course, and she has been previous playing with the UCU before she joined this KCCA side. And Nemo are very fast to draw the first blood, of course, for this fixture here.
Yeah, and we see quite a number of changes on the Nemo's side. We see for the very first time in this season, I think there is a change in the setting department. We
Yeah.
see Anita coming in to set ahead of Jalia. And it is actually quite interesting because we've not seen her play quite a number of matches, but other than coming in as a substitute towards the late match or end of the match.
Yeah, and of course, Coach Ofo there, the first coach of Team Nemo, I think he has built a lot of confidence on Anita. We have been talking about starting these games, and of course, she has been really putting a lot of work in terms of setting there, and that is really why we are seeing her start most of these games.
And Nemo is still in the lead. That is 3-0 now. Quite interesting because KCCA is one of the strongest teams we have in the country, and Nemo Stars gets into this game as the underdogs of the day, but they are really showing that they are ready for this fixture here.
Yeah, and of course, KCCA are able to break the deadlock now with that net error called on the Nemo blockers, of course, there. And now Shamim for KCCA is going to the service line. Of course, she's going to be playing a receiving role there with, of course, Maggie. And interesting it will be because this KCCA side, of course, also is housing a lot of experience when it comes to the player ratings there.
And that is a very easy score from Rachel. And we see Supernatural and Sandra couldn't be able to actually penetrate their block through, and Rachel easily got that to her side. And we see now Coach Eddie Wenje is back on the touchline for
Yeah,
KCCA.
interesting to see him, by the way. We have taken long without seeing him on the touchline.
Very nice swing from Sandra, but there was a net fault from the blockers of Nemo, and that one gives KCCA their second point of this particular set.
Yeah, and of course, most of these balls are really going to go to Sandra because she's one of the players who is having that good swing from the middle and a jump she also has. And of course, there's energy also when she contacts that ball, and you can see already forcing those errors from the blockers of Nemo Stars.
Yeah, she's a very aggressive center player, and she's one of those players actually I always wish to see on court because she really gives her best whenever she steps on that court, and it is really interesting seeing that Coach Eddie has picked her ahead of the other center players because we've seen some other center players start the matches ahead of her. By this time around, she gets the chance to start the match.
Yeah, and of course, talking about experience, that is Maggie with that swing, and of course, Doreen there combining that block with Trinity. They are not able to really stop her, and that ball goes direct position 6 and 3 points. KCCA 5. Nemo still on the lead, and of course, Irene, you're asking for our names. My name is Moses, and of course, I'm joined. We are here together, of course, with Coach Malik as the commentators for this particular game.
That's a free ball to KCCA, but there was miscommunication in the play, and the free ball goes back to Nemo, but not very well picked. Still, we see so many free balls in this particular game, but then the libero couldn't be able to pick that. It was so easy, but it went through her hands.
Yeah, of course, not quite a good start for KCCA. Errors from the libero there, really forcing now the 3-point lead again stays and stands. Of course, Nemo starting strong in this first set.
And that is a miss set by the setter. We didn't know, was that ball going to Agnes, or was it a backcourt for Shamim, or was it actually going to Maggie? It was actually in the middle of all the three attackers, and none of them thought of taking it, and they ended up messing up. I think Kcca needs to settle down.
Yeah.
They are actually playing a little bit disorganized. There's miscommunication, missets. Who is supposed to take the free ball, or who's supposed to pass that last touch, and we see those errors have kept on going. But now that is a service error from Rachel that is coming in from the Nemo side.
And of course, we talked about Kcca trying to really, they need to calm down. And of course, now Maggie, one of the good servers on the court as well, is now taking that line from the service, and she can really have that good pace on the service. And not quite a good set, of course, from Anita there on the Nemo side. And of course, Kcca are now just within 2 points from the lead that Nemo had exposed. A lot of communication issues on the side of Kcca there. Balls are really going to the ground because of no communication, and it's affecting them very, very much here.
It is really interesting to see how the Nemo coach Apollo decided to go with actually 3 changes in his team.
Yeah.
And these players have not been able to start. That is Bridget, Anita, and Rachel. They've not been regular starters in their games, but he decides to say that perhaps this particular game they are the right players to start this fixture.
Yeah, but of course everything usually just comes down to the coach and of course the technical team. Probably they have been putting in a lot of work in training, and maybe that's why he decides to go with that option. And Shamim with that brilliant play, of course, goes so high on the blocks of Anita there, and of course Trinity is not able to play that ball back.
Yeah, that was a brilliant dump, and when you're not very, very agile in the ladies volleyball, you will actually tend not to pick any kinds of balls that are dumped over. So you need to be so agile to be able to move each and every angle to pick such balls up. But that is a very good pass from the Ribera, and Rachel comes in with a swing, but there is a good block by Sandra. And again, Trinity comes in with a swing, very well defended by Maggie as well in the backcourt. But you will still see miscommunication on the Kcca side players.
Yeah, there's a lot of miscommunication, and they really need to calm down, like you mentioned earlier on, because this is really affecting their, especially backcourt cover. And that's why they are losing those points really, really, very, very bad there for themselves.
Well, Kcca needs to take note of what is happening on their side.
Yeah.
Because if they keep on having such miscommunications and such kind of play, we've seen quite a number of free balls given to them, but none has actually gone back or been picked perfectly to the setter, and that is really worrying.
Of course, good start for Nemo so far. They're really taking control of this game, but Shamim comes with a swing of her own, and of course, as usual, no one is able to play that ball back from that position. 6 cover there, and it's a good score for them. 7-10 is the score right now. Nemo still, of course, on the lead.
Yeah, Nemo on the lead, and Kcca is still trying to close up the gap as they try to find their play generally to be able to find their confidence and organize themselves, because I think also this comes with taking some little time without playing. I don't know, or are the players not ready for this fixture, or didn't they warm up enough? I don't really know what is happening to them, but there's a lot that is not going right. And then we see a very, very good block from Florence combined with the Trinity.
Yeah, really, Nemo looks very composed in this first set, and you can see already that lead they have exposed is really putting so much pressure on this side of Kcca, who are really playing with a lot of momentum, and Nemo, of course, really taking charge in this first set.
And Shamim comes in with a swing on the right-hand side, and she manages to get a wipe from Rachel. If Nemo takes the first set, I think Mustafa will be really happy, and he will be like,
Yes.
I think my prediction is coming right.
Yeah, and he was very quick to give his prediction there, and I hope he really stands with his prediction.
Before even the match kicked off,
Yes.
he had sent in his prediction.
But of course, errors now coming on the Nemo side, and you can see Kcca are now within 2 points from that lead, which Nemo had already opened earlier on. So let's go.
And Nemo is still in the lead. Florence is going into service. One of the consistent center blockers of this Nemo Stars team, as one of the players who actually pushed the team to come back from Serie B, to come back to Serie A, right from Serie B. And now Maggie comes in with a very nice swing. She manages to break that through the blockers of Nemo.
And of course, Nemo are really playing well. In case they maintain this kind of focused play, we are really going to see a very interesting game in this particular fixture. Of course, Rachel is able to easily play that ball over the net, and of course, Supernatural is not able to stop her there, and that is a good score for Nemo Stars. 13-10. Nemo Stars still looking good and holding on to that lead.
And that ball seemed short for Akanyo, and she really swings and attacks that ball wide out. And the lead, Nemo extends their lead now to 4 points. Kcca had managed to reduce the gap, but Nemo seems to be determined to keep up there and determined to take the first set.
Yeah, we talked about the focus, and you can see Nemo really looks very focused, especially in maintaining their lead. But of course, Bridget is able to go and error in the service line there, and of course, you can see 3 points still on the lead for Nemo Stars.
Yeah, we see Kcca is trying so much to play actually through the middle,
Yeah.
but there is a lack of connection, and the balls are actually not, the sets are not going right with the setter and her middle players. And now we see actually a reception error from the Nemo side, and that is a very easy score for Kcca as the gap reduces to 2 points.
Yeah.
Good service, nice read by Bridget. I think the Ribeiro had left that. And the swing comes in from Rachel, but that is a very good block from Akanyo, assisted by Joe. And there, they combined so well to make sure that they shut Rachel down. But it was a really brilliant swing. It was a nice set, starting from the way Bridget picked it, because the Ribeiro had actually left that ball thinking it is out. But then Kcca managed to defend this way through.
Yeah, of course, the reception is really there, but there are just miscommunications between Anita and our attackers there. And of course, again, through the middle goes Kcca, and now we are level in terms of scores, 14-14.
And then we see the very first time out for Team Nemo. They've lost their lead of 4 points.
Yeah.
I think this is the right call from Coach Apollo, because having a lead of 4 and then you level up on points, I even think it really came late. Perhaps by the time KCCA made 2-3 points, he should have been able to call that first time out.
Yeah.
But perhaps he was still holding on to see what his players can do or break through the rotation.
Yeah, and of course it will be interesting to see how they will come back and maybe answer these questions that KCCA has been asking from about the 10th point, and now they are at level 14-14. And of course, Anifa, Nantale, you're appreciating. Of course, we thank you so much for logging in and, of course, sending your thoughts and your comments. Of course, Mustafa is still rallying Nemo to win. And of course, we shall be here to rally the game until the last bit of it. Of course, Supernatural still doing the service there and putting so much pressure on the receivers there of Nemo Stars. And Anita, the libero, again struggling to find the setter there, and miscommunication again. And now for the first time in this set, KCCA has taken the lead 15-14 from 10.
And we see a substitution coming in here. Double substitution. Jalia gets in, and as well as shot number 4, that is Abaro Rita. These are actually the players that have been starting in most of the fixtures of Nemo.
Yeah. And of course, KCCA have normalized and contained the pressure, and now they are within 3 points ahead, and Nemo now have to dig deeper to find a way of closing on this gap, because now KCCA has taken control of this set. And of course, credit goes to the KCCA side, because they've been very able to chase down the lead that Nemo had opened, and now they are on the lead. Nemo are able to break that deadlock. But look at that chase from KCCA, 10 points to 14, and now up to 17. No response and no answer from the Nemo side there.
Yeah, that was a very nice block from Mirembe Dorin. Also one of the players that have been really consistent on the Nemo side. And she really manages to get that ball, as we see KCCA still trying to play through the middle. The setter Joan has really insisted on playing her balls through the middle. Perhaps that is the team tactic for today. But still, it has not yet, actually, there is no that perfect connection between her and the center players. Mustafa still says that Nemo, please win. But right now, Nemo is trailing.
But of course, Sharon comes with a response of her own. You know, Sharon was previously a player of KCCA.
And
Before that,
PVC.
yeah, before that, Miss Fortune that befell her. Now, she said, really, Mustafa, are we that bad?
Well, I think Mustafa asking Nemo to really win, and it doesn't mean that KCCA is bad, as Sharon says. But also, we think most of the predictions, as from fans, they would think that KCCA has this to win. And perhaps also Nemo comes in as the underdogs in this specific fixture.
And
And
of course, you can see the fans are really going at each other on the commentary section there. But Jalia, with that service error, now keeps KCCA within 3 points of the lead, 18-15.
And KCCA now is in the driving seat. They seem now to have settled down. They seem to be organizing themselves. And now we see the pressure is coming in onto the Nemo side. Trinity comes in with a miss swing, but that was really perfect for her. I think her miss swinging and mistiming that ball was actually the right thing, but she didn't intend it, but it ended up giving her the best point out of it, and now Nemos closes up the gap to 2 points. Another substitution on the Nemo side, Damali comes in for Supernatural to get that service and the defense.
Yes, and of course sometimes she plays as a libero, so definitely Coach Eddie is trying to look for that defense there.
Service from Doreen. Very, very good service. Well picked by the Libero. And then Shamim actually comes in with a swing, but well defended by the Nemo side. And it is a free ball to Kcca. Well picked by Maggie. And then Shamim still comes in with a swing. And that is a touch. But then also the Nemo side, the Nemo players had actually made net faults. That is Florence.
Yeah, and of course a lot of netting on the side of Nemo there. You could really see.
Actually, that was Trinity that touched the net.
Yes.
Florence's block was a little bit off net.
Those are actually 4 errors on the net, just coming from the Nemo side there, and it doesn't look good for them because Kcca are just almost hitting that 20-point mark, and to be, of course, the business end of the set, and the service is really coming so hard, and the pressure, of course, on that Nemo reception side.
Very good down from Jaria, but well picked by Maggie. And it is a free ball to Nemo, but not the very best pass. And Trinity comes in with a swing. Still, we see the defense is doing great for Kcca. A dump comes in, but well read by Rita there. And also Trinity dumps in, but well read by Maggie as well. Shamim comes in with a swing, a very, very nice block. And then Sandra comes in with that swing, but the ball is outside.
I think she didn't quite pull out well, and of course the ball was also higher. So she tried to look for that minimum touch, but she couldn't get it because she tried to swing off, but really it was wide, and she's not able to secure that point for her side.
Yeah, she's one of actually of those players who really never attack straight onto the block. She really has the right concept of the middle player, always chopping that block onto the sides. But then we see another service error from the Nemo side. The service errors are increasing.
They're really increasing, and it will be interesting for us to see when this set really ends. The opponent errors, especially on the Nemo side, they are really becoming many, and it is costing them a lot.
Yeah, they really started well. The errors were very, very minimal, but towards this end of the set, the errors are increasing. And Bridget comes in with a dump, but then that ball touched the net, and it is outside as Kcca comfortably gets a lead of 4 points.
Of course, business end of the set now. Kcca looking really very good with the lead now, and Nemo, you can really clearly see they are struggling in terms of passing there, and free balls going to the Kcca side and Shamim, but the ball is retrieved, of course, by Anita, and Bridget with that swing again. The ball is played back, and Shamim will go for another swing, and off the hands, she's able to get that score.
Yeah, she really looked for those hands. I think the repetitive movements she was really making, she was actually a little bit more tired, and the Nemo players should have been able to read that and know that this time around she might not be able to have that hard swing on the ball. And she really looks for the hands, she gets them, and she scores with ease for the Kcca side. And that is the second time out for Nemo.
Yeah, and really things are not going the Nemo way, and of course Coach Apollo there will really have a lot of talking points for this team in case the set doesn't go their way, and of course if Kcca wins, a lot of questions will be asked, especially for the Nemo side there, and of Coach Apollo will not be really impressed by the show the ladies have displayed here, but credit of course to the Kcca side for bridging in that gap in terms of the lead, and of course the services also putting that pressure on the Nemo receivers, and yeah, I think they are really decided to calm down the game and maintain the pressure, and which has worked of course on their favor. So 22 points Kcca and 17 for Nemo, and of course Mwendi Joan is on the service line for team Kcca. Of course, not quite a good swing from Damali, and that ball goes wide. Nemo now 18 points and 22 for Kcca. Very interesting game this is so far, especially this first set. And of course, many of you have already tuned in and have already dropped in your comments. Sheila, we see you. Thanks for joining. Of course, Mustafa, Hanifa, and the rest who are watching from wherever you're really catching the game live. That's a smart play from Shamim, and of course she's able to get that point for her team, and now here she is going to the service line.
And then we see the substitutions are actually reversed. Rachel comes back with Anita as Rita gets back outside with Jaria. But still, KCCA is still in the driving seat, leading with 5 points. Very, very comfortable right now in time, and with 3 attackers front court.
Not quite a good connection there between, of course, Rita and Anita, the setter there. And now that just brings us to the first set points for Team KCCA in this particular first set of the second game of today. And of course, do not forget this is the second game of the day. We just a couple of minutes ago witnessed a game between UCU Lady Doves taking on Elion. UCU coming clean, of course, to win that game 3-0 and walking away with the maximum points. This game here is between KCCA and Nemo Stars, and KCCA, of course, are now just within 1 point to win their first set. And of course, the next game will be the men's action. Elion will be taking on Ndeje Sharks. Then the next game after that will be Sportes taking on Police, and the last game will be Nemo Stars taking on Sky. Shamim, of course, comes with that service picked by Anita. Bridget tries to swing, but the ball is still in play. Joan now goes to Maggie, and Maggie attacks it wide, and that's a score for Nemo, and they're able to keep that game and save the first set point, of course, for KCCA. Here comes Florence now with the service. Maggie, smart play, experiential play there, and that brings us to the end of the first set. Very, very good play from KCCA to chase down the lead of about 4 points. And of course, Nemo not able to keep up the point gap they already opened, of course, in the earlier stages of the set. And interesting it will be to see how they will come back and respond, of course, in the second set. But as it stands, KCCA are 1 set up, and of course, a lot of talking points are really going to go on the side of Nemo Stars. And you can see on the confirmation of the statistics there, KCCA 11 attacks better than Nemo of 5, and of course Nemo doing very well in terms of block 4 against 1, just serves 1 apiece. And of course, look at the error margin there. Nemo Stars 11 errors, and of course KCCA just 8 errors. And of course, those errors there really affected Nemo so much, and they really let the set go. And yeah, that just brings us, of course, to the conclusion of this first set, which KCCA has come out victorious. Let us wait and see how the second set will play as we return. And of course, set number 2 returns, and Kcca are already able to get that first point. And of course, as we start this second set, just a slight change, of course, on the Nemo side. Julie comes in now in position of Rita. And looking at the Kcca side, no changes so far. Anita there, she's on backcourt and she tried to play that ball over. Kcca are really coming into the second set looking strong, already 2 points ahead. It will be interesting to see how Nemo is going to respond, of course.
I think they've started actually Rachel out.
Yes.
And Julie comes in. We see Bridget is now into receiver attack, who was actually playing opposite.
Yeah.
And I think those are the only changes that Nemo has managed to make. And now it is 3-0 Kcca into the lead.
And of course, from the technical bit of it, maybe Coach Apollo had a strategy he was trying to really showcase in the first set. Maybe it didn't work. Now he has to reverse and go back to making Bridget receive. Of course, with Trinity there. And she's really already struggling there.
And now Nemo is struggling with reception as we see Kcca side stabilizing. And now Joan is really serving well. She has gained her confidence back. And the Kcca players seem to be very, very calm. However, we've seen there is a change in their center player. I think Sandra is out. And the other center player comes in.
Oh, yeah, one of the experienced players, of course, there before she joined, of course, she was in Ndeje.
That is a team, Christine.
Yes. And I think, of course, if you had looked at the statistics, Nemo surprisingly produced 3 blocks more than Kcca side. And I think now Coach Eddie is looking to find a way of bridging that gap and also bring on the long blocks and, of course, that kind of swing from a team. Free ball now. Again, she's going to come and swing.
And that is an error from her team. She attacks that wide. I think the ball became a little bit low, or she tried to change the angle of the swing, and she ended up making a fault in attack. We also see the other Rebel player stepping in on court.
Yes.
She's one of those very, very good defenders. She's actually agile. She's agile on court, and she's very, very interesting to watch whenever she's playing. Because whenever the opponents feel like the ball has landed, she's actually there to pick the ball.
Yeah, and that is what we are really able to witness here. Carol there, the libero, really moving so fast to try and pick those balls, and that is, of course, supernatural with that net error. And, of course, from that swing from Julie. And Nemo now able to pick up the pieces, and they're just within 1 point from the lead that Kcca had set up.
And still, that is a service fault from Bridget. If you're trailing, you really need to have your service work out, because one of the things that actually gives points to the ladies teams is service. But if you start losing, then you are in a fix.
Yeah, and of course you shouldn't expect that to come from your receive attackers. And of course Bridget there really being in the opposite role in the first set. I think Kcca might really have to go and serve the receivers. And of course you could see they already went.
Maggie comes in with a very, very hard swing, but then there is a net fault by Florence.
Yeah, I think Nemo has a lot of netting errors now affecting them so much.
Yeah, that is really true. And if they don't really come down and settle whenever they have to defend, they will still have so many net faults. Netting needs a lot of blocking needs a lot of concentration.
Yeah.
So they really need to do that. And we also see a first set by Anita towards Julie, but the ball was really, really tight, and she couldn't do anything upon that. And she gifted now Kcca the 7th point.
So again, Kcca are now 4 points clear. and Nemo again have to find a way to break that deadlock and close in on the gap.
Service comes in, very good pick. And then Trinity comes in with a swing. That is a miss hit. And then Maggie swings hard onto that ball. Very well defended by Bridget. And then Trinity has to go with an off spin. Very, very good effort from the Kcca players. And it is a free ball for Nemo. But the set is really lacking. Julie plays that with effort. And then we see Supernatural coming in with a swing. She really gets that perfectly. Nemo, I think the setter is losing concentration.
Yeah, she really is losing concentration, and you can see all the back sets. I don't know whether she's not having a good hold on that ball, and the balls are really going past the antenna. Lucky for her, Julie is able to play that one, of course, back to the court, and of course, taking advantage of that free ball. Supernatural with a very, very good swing and off the hands, of course, of the defenders there. She's able to get that
we also see the coach trying to tell her to calm down. Perhaps they had told her to play more in position 2 because we see she was trying to force the sets there, but they are not happening. And then now she chooses to go to Trinity in position 4, but that is an attack fault by her.
Now there, she really is going to get on pressure. And
exactly.
Of course,
and she really
is already
needs a
signaling to the bench, and we don't know what he has in his mind already. But she really needs to take that breather.
The swing comes in for her team. She really gets that right. And now Kcca is very, very comfortable now, leading this set with 7 points.
Interesting, of course. Now, first time out called by Coach Apollo. And of course, the ladies really needed it, and he needs to have a discussion, of course, with them and try to understand from their point of view what is not really going well. Or, of course, he's the man who sees everything, and he has the knowledge to, of course, find a way. And literally, like we mentioned, Anita, of course, the setter there needs to calm down. Even if the strategy was really to put those balls in position 2, she really needs to calm down.
Yeah, that's very right, because sometimes the reception cannot allow you to set where you really need to set that ball. And if the reception takes you to set that ball to a different position, you have to do your best to set a better ball there than forcing a set to a certain position, although that is the tactic of the team or the strategy. We see Sharon Pajije telling Mustafa that this is a 3-0 and the 0 is actually the 0.
Yeah. The zeros are many. Interesting there. But of course, as we come back from the timeout, it seems really nothing has really changed, because there is an S service from Shamim.
And she really celebrates that. Interestingly, with a very interesting dance. She's trying to enjoy herself right now.
Yeah.
And then we see a substitute on the Nemo side, double substitution.
Yeah.
Anita and Trinity come out as Jalia and Rita get on, as we saw in the first set.
Yeah, and of course, even in the first set when the double substitution was made, things really didn't seem to be going the Nemo way. But of course, you want to see how this double substitution is going to work out, because they really have a huge gap to close in here, because free balls are now going to the side of Kcca, and of course, through the middle, a team again.
Surprisingly, in a ladies volleyball, that gap is very big, but it can be really interesting to see by the time they get in 20s, and the difference is like 4 points.
We really witnessed that incident yesterday in that game between VVC. And
yeah, for ladies, someone might get into service and they really distract you.
Yeah.
But Kcca is very, very confident now. They are playing organized volleyball. And we see Shamim still trying to serve, but then she gets another S, and the celebration keeps on.
The dance is still on, and of course, it's going to really be hard right now for Nemo, because Kcca are looking to really take charge of this set, and you can see substitutions are now going to keep coming, especially on the Nemo side.
And we see one of the players that has not featured for long.
Yeah.
She's introduced on to try and give that experience to the Nemo team. Another good service, well picked. And then Rita comes in with a swing and she gets that right. That is a block out. Supernatural and a team couldn't be able to join those hands and have that perfect block. And Rita uses the advantage to score. And then she gives a breather to the Nemo side. They really needed this because Shamim was actually having fun in that service zone. Will she have the last dance?
We really hope to see.
As the game ends, the final score, hopefully she'll have the last dance
Yeah.
because she's enjoying this. That's an effort from John with a one-hand set, but then Rita comes in with a swing, and that is a very, very good block. She chooses to go on the side of Supernatural, but who is a very, very high blocker, and with her joined with a team, that block is really high. As the ball was actually close to the net, she stood no chance.
Yeah, of course, those are high blocks from Kcca, and of course, being a short player on the Nemo side, and you're really playing that ball, you really need to be quick on the attack. And of course, a team with the service error of our own pushes Nemo to within 5 points, and of course 14 for Kcca.
Yeah, as one of the players usually tells me that right now KCCA is on their NSSF. They are enjoying the benefits. So as they keep reducing on it, they are comfortable to actually enjoy some of those benefits.
Yeah.
And that is a very good swing through I think the middle. That was Akanyo.
Yeah, but that ball goes wide, and of course that's a point for Nemo Stars.
And they are still enjoying their NSSF.
They are
That
indeed
is
still enjoying.
Hopefully they will not regret at the end. And Nemo Stars now closes up the gap, but though the gap still stands so huge. And that is a very, very easy score by Supernatural. Supernatural is one of the players that have really transitioned from the middle to being an opposite. Yes, she used to be actually versatile in playing those two positions even when she was still at Indeje. And now we see she was introduced back into the opposite zone. I think it is because we also see the captain Eunice is not appearing today.
Yeah, we saw her really around. She won, but now I see her really sitting the end of the fans. I don't know what could have maybe happened to her, but
perhaps she was not really feeling fine.
Yeah.
And she's missing out today, but Supernatural takes up that role perfectly. And even in the previous games, we saw that however much Eunice was available, Supernatural was also being as one of the first options to play in that opposite position.
Yeah. So 16 points, Kcca, and 6 for Nemo Stars. And Supernatural there comes with a service error, of course, of our own.
Yeah, there are quite a few actually servers on the KCA side who are very, very consistent. And perhaps that would be Joan, Shamim, and Maggie.
Yeah.
And the other players, they seem to lack consistency whenever they enter that service zone. And that is one of the things I think KCCA and Coach Wenje should be able to work on, because service with ladies, it is a very, very big strength that we need. And then we see a miss hit by Agnes.
I think Agnes has really failed to find the ground.
Yeah, she's really attacking out so much.
All the balls, I think most of the balls she has received have been misattacked, and all the errors are really, maybe, I don't know if she has to do some talk with the setter Joan there, but I think the balls are okay.
And Maggie comes in with just an off spin over, and then Bridget comes in with an attack, but then Maggie couldn't keep that ball on court. Nemo seems to be finding their way.
Yeah.
And now they have 9 points on 16. Just 7 points,
just 7 points away
behind.
Yeah.
Eduardo Emmanuel says, this is interesting. Let's go KCCA. Yeah, KCCA is really giving their fans that smile on them. Look at that block.
The blocks continue biting, of course, on the side of Kcca. Very, very interesting to see those blocks really go up so high. And of course, you could see Agnes there joining Joan, of course, there, and they bring down Bridget.
Yeah, Agnes's block is quite a very, very high block.
Yeah.
She's one of the tallest center players we have in the country, and her blocks are really so high and aggressive. And we see another block coming in, her being assisted by Shamim. And Kcca is really comfortable, as you see on their court. They are even very, very confident that they already have this one.
Yeah. Of course, the blocking party continues on the side of Kcca. Nemo have a lot of questions to ask because now the lead is again back to 9 points.
Very good service, but well picked by Bridget. And Julie comes in with a dump, but well read by Shamim. And then that's a very, very good dump from the setter of Nemo, but well picked by Kcca players. And Bridget gets this off spin from the block. Very, very good effort by the Kcca players. They managed to read that. They were a little bit high, and the dump came in a bit so quick, but they managed to keep that ball alive. And finally, Nemo had the free ball, but they utilized that perfectly through Bridget. Hanifa is she's laughing at Sharon. Baba, what do you?
Hey. And of course, always joining us online is Katongole Stanley, who is always supporting, and he says, Nemo, we can make it.
Yeah, you really need to support the Nemo side as the fan, because right now they are trailing with 9 points.
Yeah.
And they are trying to close up the gap, but then we see the set was really, really tight for Bridget, and she couldn't get a touch on that ball. She stretched high out, but the set was running outside, and that was an error on the Nemo side, as Akanyo Agnes still keeps in service. Points at 20-10.
Yeah, and of course, Coach Apollo will really look to talk to both setters, because now they are really struggling, especially now Jalia, who is kind of experienced, comes on, and she has also those pressure error sets coming her way. And now you can see Shamim really is enjoying this game, and you can see how she's celebrating every point that she scores for her side there.
And that is another timeout for Nemo Stars. Is this the second?
Yes,
yeah.
This is their second timeout.
Nemo is actually a little bit stuck, because Coach Apollo is trying out every option he has on the bench, and even changing the tactics on the court and the strategy, but it is really not working out right. The execution, he believes that perhaps would work for the team. It is becoming a little bit hard.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of service pressure coming from the Kcca side, especially when Supernatural steps onto that service zone. She's really putting the receivers of Nemo Stars into so much pressure there.
Even Agnes right now, we saw she has served twice, but her service is really now coming hard. She's pressing that ball, and it is really challenging for the Nemo receivers. That is why they end up playing even off system.
Yeah. So 21 Kcca, 10 Nemo, as we return from that second timeout called in by Coach Apollo. And of course, Kcca already is set up.
And we see the substitution is reversed. Jalia comes out and Anita gets back. We really hope she had that breather. She needed it.
Yeah.
Because she started off well in set 1, but set 2, the pressure kept on mounting, and the strategy was not working out, and she really needed that break off.
So within just the second set, Coach Apollo has made 5 substitutions.
Yeah, just left with 1 only.
Yes.
And that is a very, very wise service from Agnes. She chooses to drop that ball, as the Nemo Stars receivers were actually standing a little bit far in the backcourt, and she manages to get that ball dropped onto the attack line. Very, very clean point, and she gets an S. And then we see a substitution on the Kcca side. The young setter comes in with the young setter comes in. That is Achan, eh?
Yeah, I think that's Achan.
Yeah, that is Achan. Ayol, something. She comes on
Oliver.
to also have the feel of the game. She's also one of those talented setters who actually have the advantage of being left-handed. And
Yeah.
being a setter and you have that left hand, it means anytime you're ready to attack.
And she's one of the setters who jump sets as well.
Yeah, every time, yeah, she's jump setting at all times, and that is one of the qualities that most of our setters in this country lack.
Yes.
They love to stand and set, but if you have a setter who's jump setting at all times, she's really hard to read. That's a free ball to Nemo, but still picked by the setter. And swing comes in with Bridget, but well covered by Maggie. And it is another free ball for Nemo, well picked by the Libero. And then Julie comes in with a swing, but then she attacks that outside.
Things really not going the Nemo way, as of course Kcca are just within 2 points to see that they win the second set, and of course Nemo still have to dig more deeper to come back stronger in the third set and maybe the other remaining sets. But as it looks like now, Kcca are really comfortable in the lead and stretching themselves away. And of course, Julie with that attack error brings Kcca to another set point in this game.
Yeah, as we see Oliver still trying to also get the rhythm of the sets.
Yeah.
Because they are very tight on the net, and we've seen around 3 times they are giving free balls. And that is another service error from her.
Yeah, she has not really had a successful set, and of course any hit coming from her sets. And now she just adds on the service errors for her side there.
And we see Coach Eddie still trying to give his players time to play on court. And the Maggie comes out as we see the young player being introduced on. That is Mutesi Joan, one of those players who have just graduated from high school. And she's also finding the chance to play on this Kcca side, which is actually very good by Coach Eddie, trying to give such players an opportunity to have a feel of the Serie A games. It is really very good. And even previously, we saw Coach Sheila was also trying the same, utilizing these young girls at most of the times and giving them chance to play. Because whenever the senior players failed, you really needed these young girls to come in and also help with their energies. Julie comes in with a swing, but then well covered by Mutesi, and it is a free ball to Nemo. Very well given by the Ribeiro. She really read that and saw the gap that the setter was running in. And the swing comes in into the middle, but well blocked. And then
Shamim.
That's a very easy swing by Shamim. She places that ball onto the line, and the cover couldn't get there.
Of course, great court awareness by Shamim. She really saw where the gap was, and she was able just to easily place that ball there. And that score from Shamim, of course, brings us to the end of the second set, which Kcca has comfortably won with a big margin, 25-12. You can see the scores there. And of course, with the changes that Coach Apollo was able to make for the Nemo side, nothing was really able to change, and really things are not working really very well for Nemo here. A lot of talking points for him and his ladies there. We want to see how they really respond, of course, in the coming set, but Kcca are on the lead with 2 sets as we speak.
Yeah, Kcca is very comfortable now, having 2 sets in the bag.
But of course, when you take a look at the statistics there, of course, the attacks, Kcca comes out clean with 4 more, 7-3 there, and you can see the blocks and the services all going in favor of Kcca. 5 blocks, look at that, and 4 services for them. And Nemo had no answer in regards to blocks and, of course, services there. And the error margin, we are at peace, 9-9 for both teams. And of course, that's where I said that Nemo have a lot of talking points, especially on the block and the serves there. A lot of service pressure coming from, of course, the Kcca side and to the receivers of Nemo Stars.
Yeah, I think both teams need to work on their errors, because having such number of errors, it is really not good. Because having 9 errors, those are 9 points to the
The
opponent.
opponent, yes.
3 points actually. It is better you try to reduce the errors on your team as much as possible,
Yeah.
and you let your opponents be the ones to score for themselves. But it is really brilliant to see that KCCA had 4 aces. That means that their service has been on point,
Yes.
and perhaps even seeing on the 9 errors that Nemo had, it means also the service was troubling to them. But the errors from the KCCA side, they were really passing well. They had those good blocks, but I don't know why they keep on making quite a number of errors and gifting so many points to the opponent.
Yeah, so we just take a breather and we wait and see how the ladies return. And of course, we want to see how Nemo comes back with questions of their own. But of course, also we want to see how KCCA comes maybe to finally win the third set and of course take home the 3 points. So we shall wait and see as we return.
And we return for the third set. Still, we see actually two changes in the Nemo side. Shot number 12 coming in. That is Privian. And also Rita starting in the receiver attack position. Still no changes for the KCCA side, and they've maintained their teams, the starting lineup. And there comes the first point of this set.
And of course, comes from the middle. That is the strategy I think Coach Eddie has staged from the onset of this game. He wants to
Yeah,
go through the middle and it's
yeah,
really
he has
working.
insisted on that.
Yeah.
Very, very few balls have actually gone out. The few sets have gone out wide. Most of the sets have gone through the middle. And now we see a reception error on the Nemo side. Nemo is really struggling with the reception today.
Yeah, things really not working their way in terms of reception and the service pressure. Every time they fail to receive, the person in the serving zone gains their confidence, and you can see Shamim really doing so much there in the service. And of course, they continue to really fail to receive there.
And that is still a very good block from Super Nacho and Christine. Joined, that is a very, very high block to pass, and Julie couldn't go past that. KCCA are very calm, and I think they know that they have this in their hands. And that is another ace And the dances still continue.
Yeah, Shamim really looks to be doing a lot, and she's really enjoying herself in this game because most of the points are coming from her services, and of course even the attacks on the front court there. We just see a lot of cover from Maggie and not so much on attack, but Shamim, we have seen her on attack, we have seen her on defense, we have seen her on service, and of course you can see how she's placing that ball.
And this time when they have the reception, the set is really tight.
It's really very tight.
And Julie couldn't be able to play that way through. And Kcca extends their comfortable lead to 5 points. I think this is the time Coach Apollo should have thought about a timeout.
Timeout, yes. Because the pressure from the service is increasing, and of course.
And Shamim is able to pick that, but she's on the way for the other players to pick, especially Asekenyi. She was really trying to go past her to be able to have the second touch on that ball, but Shamim was on her way, and Nemo is actually relieved and gets the first point of the set.
Yeah, and of course they are also relieved to have removed Shamim from that service box.
Good service from Trinity. And then Supernatural comes in with a swing, but a very, very good touch from the blockers. And then Rita comes in with another swing, but that is way out. Ball out. She has also not gained rhythm from the time she was coming in and out. Even in the substitutions, she has failed to gain the rhythm of attack, yet she's one of those aggressive attackers for the Nemo side. But today doesn't really seem to be a good day on her side.
Yeah. Things really not looking good for Nemo Stars because the services are increasing
getting more hot.
Pressure and getting more hotter and hotter for them.
A dump well picked. Trinity comes in with a set and Julie comes in with a swing, but well defended by Shamim behind there. Maggie does the same, but still very well read by Anita there. Good touch. The ball is well picked, and then the swing comes in the middle, and Agnes attacks that out wide.
Yeah, she's really failed to get her feet there.
Yeah, she's really making so many attack faults.
Yes.
And even when she gets the right height of the ball,
I think Joan the setter is really disappointed because every time she tries to put in a lot of effort to find a good ball to set for her, she finds always.
Yeah, she's attacking very deep, and she's not getting the angles very well.
Yeah.
I think maybe she should try to pin more the balls, since she's already a very tall player and one who jumps quite high. Maggie comes in with a swing, and that couldn't be well defended by Caroline. And she was a little bit off the position, and we really see her there trying to take in the blame and telling the coach that that was hers.
Yeah. And of course, Kcca looking good, 5 points lead, and of course Nemo just has 2. And Supernatural is on the service zone now.
Very good service, but still the set goes through the middle, but then it wasn't well executed. Ball well picked. Julie comes in with a swing. She gets that, but a very good touch from the blockers. And then Maggie comes in with another swing, but well defended by the Nemo players. As you see, Rita chooses to go for the off spin. I wonder why she does not attack this ball to gain rhythm. Good defense from the two sides. And then there comes in a swing by Julie, but the ball goes out.
And slowly, Kcca are again starting to open up that lead that we saw in the second set. Nemo really trying to do the blocking, but of course those balls are not killing and they are not really scoring from the attacks as well.
Rita still comes in with an attack, but this time she's brought down by Joan.
The service pressure from Kcca is increasing, and of course these are tall players, and Supernatural having a good service is piling that service pressure onto the receivers. You can see she's going straight to the libero there, and of course Trinity as well, and forcing them to error. You can see the setter is not really comfortable. She's digging now. She's starting to dig set there, which is not really looking good for Nemo.
Yeah, that is very true. And I think Nemo right now, they need a player that can really stand out and actually give them confidence. Someone to stand out as a horse. And we see the setter still trying to pick out Julie to perhaps take that role.
Yeah.
But the role is not being very well executed, as the points are still moving very fast against them. And that is the ball. We see the ball is not well defended by Trinity as it goes out wide, but none of the Nemo Stars players put in effort to even have a chase on that, although the ball was quite high.
Yes. And of course, you can see now 7-point lead.
And their heads are down now. Literally, we can see the moods of the players on court. They seem to be playing to just end the game. A very good swing from Rita, but well defended by the KCCA side. And Maggie comes in with a very hard hit on the block, onto the blockers of Nemo Stars, and she manages to get that and extend a comfortable lead for the KCCA side. Points stand at 11-2. Well, I don't know what is happening to Nemo Stars. They really started very well and gave hope to the fans.
Yes.
That this is a very tight game, that
a lot
tight show.
of service pressure. Again, Trinity is caught here unaware, and she's really forced to error there in reception. Of course, Supernatural still doing the damage onto the Nemo side, and things really are getting out of hand. Of course, here now KCCA are getting more and more composed.
We've seen every server who has gone into the KCCA service actually serving 2 or more services.
Yeah.
And that is a very good swing through the middle. And finally,
is able to break the deadlock there, and of course relieve themselves from that service from Supernatural.
They also need someone actually to give them the rhythm and try to serve hard. Right now, what can help the Nemo side, I think it is a very good server.
Yes.
That can try to destabilize the KCCA side, but they are very confident. As we can see right now, the pass is perfect and the attacks are really on. But that is a very good defense from Nemo, and Julie comes in with an off spin, but she puts that out. She was looking for a tight angle down the line, but the ball slightly landed outside.
Yeah, of course, if you're the coach and you're in Coach Apollo's shoes, you should be really looking at what is really able to work out for the team in Nemo, because most of the things have really failed in terms of reception. Whenever they get a good pass, there is always that big block from KCCA, and you can see the celebration from Joan with a combined block, of course, of Agnes there, and they are able to bring down Abalo, and they continue to extend their lead. Now it is 11 points.
I think at this point in time, Nemo Stars needs to use their substitutions.
Yeah.
Because the players on court seem to be losing it out. The concentration is off. And by leaving them on, I think you're making more damage than actually having more players introduced on. And then we see, is this the second or first time out?
First time out, really.
Yeah, it really has taken very long.
Very long.
I think they really needed this very early. But Coach Apollo chooses to have the first time out at 15-3.
Of course, Sharon should be the person happy and impressed with KCCA right now. I don't know about Mustafa, but things really looking good for KCCA here, because look at that range they have really set up here for Nemo. I don't see really something working out for Nemo, because most of the things that Coach Apollo has really tried to utilize are not working, and the lead keeps on extending and extending, and they really needed this time out maybe to clear up some talking points.
Yeah, and Nemo needs to find another strategy.
Yeah, they really need to find that strategy, but of course they need to do it as fast as possible, because this is the third set, and remember, you're playing against someone who already has 2 sets.
Right now they need to think about how to reduce the gap in the points.
Yeah.
Because it really affects you in the point ratio, and that's why I would think that Nemo Stars should actually try to use their players on the bench to try and pull back the set and reduce the gap in the points. Then Shamim comes in with a swing, but that looks out. Yeah, it is indeed outside, and Nemo Stars gets the service with their 4th point. KCCA very comfortable. They are still enjoying the benefits of their NSSS SSF, and
They are really enjoying themselves.
they created a lead. Right now, they are comfortable to make a few errors there. And then we'll see Rachel coming on for Trinity. Actually, Rachel is one of the players who started the first set playing very, very
Yeah,
well.
very well.
But we saw her actually coming out and being substituted and also being replaced in the following sets.
And of course, if Kcca continues with this lead, we might see, of course, Coach Eddie making those changes again, bringing the youngsters there. And huge blocks continue biting, of course, on the side of Kcca. And Nemo are failing to get those spaces to go through on the attack there.
But look at the way Caroline is defending that court.
She's everywhere, really.
She's everywhere.
She's everywhere.
She's having very, very brilliant touches. But seems like she's the only one putting much more effort than the other players on the court.
It's evident.
Akanyo is coming in with service. She's also one of those troubling servers. And that is a very, very good service. And well set by Anita. And that is a ball wide out by Rachel. Right now, Nemo Stars seems to have given up on this set and a game.
Yeah. 17 points, Kcca 4 just for Nemo Stars.
Mustafa's prediction is
nowhere now to be seen, really.
And,
I don't see it coming.
And Sharon had said at least a set.
Yeah.
But Sharon was saying that are they really that bad? Perhaps she was trying to mean that Kcca is way stronger than Nemo.
Exactly.
And Nemo shouldn't be even able to get a set.
Yes, and you could see when she said 3-0 and added all the 5 zeros.
Hey.
She was really stressing out her point there. But
yeah, trying to actually pin the 0 to be the 0.
And you can see the changes are starting to come on. From
the young
side
players are being introduced on. We see a substitution that has come in, and this young player, just the number 16, that is Mutes Joan, is also being given the opportunity.
And
I think Coach Ed is trying to give her playing time as well.
Yeah.
And right now is the time whereby he can really use his substitution and give opportunity to the young players. Very wise dump from Shamim there.
And of course, really, we mentioned about Nemo Stars players really giving up there. But of course, you can see Rachel was really very close to that ball, and she just decides to watch it go to the ground there. And of course, changes are going to keep on coming from the Kcca side.
And then we see also the young center player Flavia is coming in for her team. Yeah, she's one of those players who have also not gotten enough playing time.
Yeah.
Because I think she's like the fourth choice in the center players they have. That is when they have Agnes there, a team, and Sandra, and she comes in that other side to be the fourth choice of the middle player. But then she's also introduced on to get some playing time, as they are very, very comfortably leading at 19-4. Very good service, well picked by the Libero, and the ball is up. Ball is kept alive from both sides. But then Rachel couldn't pick that ball very well, and it is a free ball to Kcca. Off system set, and the ball is kept alive. The setter tries to have that ball, but the set was very tight, and Rachel comes in with a swing, but it is a very, very good defense from Flavia there. And another swing comes in, well defended by Joan there, and it is a dump from the setter, very, very easily scored.
Business end of the set, 20 points, Kcca just 4 for Nemo Stars. No questions have been asked from the time Kcca started exposing this lead. Nemo Stars have just made about 2 points. And now we are at the 20-point mark. And of course, that's a service error from Agnes. And Nemo Stars add just 1 point to their tally. That is 5 now for them, and 20 for Kcca, who are, by the way, having 2 sets as we speak.
Yeah, Anita is into service now. If I was the coach, I would tell her now to start passing the ball because right now you need the service to be as an attack.
Yes.
And it is a very good service there. Very, very technical towards position one. But there was a miscommunication on who picks that ball. And Anita is able to get an S. Another good service. Well picked by Joan, but it is crossing. And that is a very, very easy block by Maureen there. So far, 2 services from the setter.
Yeah.
And this is what they needed to have at the start of the set to be able to keep scoring and having those points close to the Kcca side. Well picked. Flavia comes in with a swing. That is a very, very nice attack.
And you can hear from the reaction of her teammates.
Yeah, her
that
teammates
was a
are
great
really
score
happy
from
for her.
Yes.
I think they are really happy that she has gotten some playing time, and having such kind of attack is very, very motivating. And another substitution. Supernacho comes out as Damali is introduced on, one of the versatile players that are actually on this Kcca side. I think she has played in all positions by the time I've seen her on the Kcca side. Setting, Libero,
Yeah.
outside attacker, opposite. I think it is only the middle position I've not seen her in.
Yeah, of course, net fault called on Damali together with Flavia there. And of course, that was a swing from Julie. Nemo now 8 points. Kcca just looking good with 21.
Yeah, their benefits are really high.
Yeah.
And they can actually make errors and still be comfortable. But we see errors are still coming in from the Nemo side as Maureen serves that way wide out. Clearly showing that Nemo Stars has given up on this set and the game.
Yeah.
It is all about a matter of time. And we just close up the game to a 3-0.
And guess who is on the service zone? It's Shamim. And she has really had a party on all angles, attack, and of course even the service. She's really doing very, very well, forcing those errors from the receivers of Nemo Stars.
She might have the last dance of the game.
Indeed,
if she
indeed
keeps
she
into
will.
service,
Yeah.
and she serves up to 25, then she'll have the last dance. And that is with those 4 touches.
I don't think that ball didn't go through.
That ball that ball was hit down into the net.
I don't really see how that point has gone to the Nemo way.
This is really surprising.
Of course, the referee is always the final man.
Hey. Rita comes in with a dump, but well picked by Joan. And still Mutesi Joan as well tries to have a free ball back. Rita comes in with a big hit, but the ball is wide out.
And that wide attack, of course, from Abalo brings us to match points for Team Kcca, who have really looked so good and composed in this 2 sets which I've just seen, second set and this last set. Too good for Nemo that the lead has always been very, very wide. And of course, Nemo not able to keep up with the pace. And just like that, an S from Flavia brings us to the conclusion and of course the final point of this game.
It is really interesting.
Very, very interesting game it has been. Of course, disappointing for Nemo Stars, and of course Coach Apollo there will have a lot of talking points for him and the ladies there. But on the Kcca side, very good chase for them in the first set and gaining that confidence back in the services, and of course even exposing the lead in the second set and the third set. Very, very clean win for them. 3 points, good enough for them this weekend.
I can actually say that Kcca must have won this game by service.
Exactly.
They had quite a number of aces. I'm yet to see on the statistics, but they seem to have had quite a number of them. Otherwise, this was very, very easy. This set at 25-9, it is the easiest they could have.
And of course,
look at those
statistics:
5 services.
5 services, 4 blocks, 10 attacks. Very, very interesting. And of course, the minimum errors they made there
We're only
were
4.
only 4. And of course, Nemo continued with that big margin of errors, 6. Really, I think that has been a good display from Kcca. And of course, to me, the player of the game has been Shamim. She has really danced her way to victory, and she has enjoyed every bit of the game here. And of course, that said, of course, we are going to switch gears because the next fixtures are going to be only men's action. And of course, the next game probably, of course, will be Elion. They will be taking on Ndeja Sharks. And of course, Ndeja Sharks played last evening a game which was a 5-set thriller between them and, of course, Kcca. And they fell short, of course, to Kcca there. But, of course, interesting to see is that this young side, the Elion team, has really been a team to watch this season, despite the fact that, of course, their key player and Starman Silva there got an injury against Nemo, but they have been playing really well and catching the eyes of most of the fans, and we are really very, very happy. And of course, surely we shall bring this game live to you.
Yeah, keep tuned in for the next fixture. I think the other starman that has come out on the alien side is the brother.
Opoya.
And right now, Opoya, I think he has the most fans
Yes.
at the moment on the alien team. He has taken up the fans from the brother now to his side.
Yeah, of course, he has really stepped up, and we are going to see how that youngster, of course, is going to go up against these players of Ndeja. You know, they are also tall and they have high blocks, but it's going to be an interesting fixture, I'm going to tell you. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, my time here is done, and thank you so much for being with me from the first game up to this one. And of course, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.